Hi students, welcome to the module overview video, the last one of the semester on our last assignment, which is technically a final assignment. So this is given during finals week, but because it's a writing assignment, I open it up a little earlier to make sure that you have enough time to work on it. So you will have from now, when I open it, to our final exam day, and I'm gonna go over that and show you the dates here too. So one thing to notice is that this doesn't have the folder units like the other modules, because we're going to keep this one open for the remainder of the semester, so there's no need to put things in the weekly folders for this. So it'll look a little different, just less clicks, which is always a good thing. So in the overview, I want you all to pay a little bit of attention here. This is just kind of a introduction to reflection writing. And reflection and why it matters for context. So since we're starting something new, I think that'll get you oriented. All of our module learning objectives, all of those course learning outcomes. Okay, so this is what I wanted to show y'all, that our final exam week is the 8th through the 13th. So like I said, I'm giving it to you a little early so you can get a jump on it. What else that we have in this, I did a more detailed estimated time breakdown for you, because I know you do have limited time and you have so much going on with other classes and assignments and finals and lots of things going on. So I made a recommendation for how long to work on some of these assignments that you have, and just to help you plan a little bit. And then at the bottom here, a couple notes about the due dates. So May 5th, you basically have two assignments. You have a smaller, just single connect assignment all by its lonesome there. And then you have the writing part, the essay that you're going to be doing. So those are the last two assignments. And so May 5th is going to be the date for the Connect assignment, because you want to get that done early and get that out of the way so you can start thinking about the paper. And then the paper will be May 12th. That is going to be a firm final deadline for that assignment. Because it's during finals week, there is no grace period. So I'm going to make a big deal about that and send it out in announcements too, because you have to kind of realize that finals, there isn't a lot of wiggle room. There's not room for a grace period. So that's why I wanted to make sure that you plan, and I gave you that little breakdown on time to help you with that. Okay, so that is important to note for this unit or this module. The other thing I will point to here is you do have a Connect assignment. This is an assignment that I'm required to give as part of our assessment process. And so all students who are taking 1301 are taking or have taken this this Connect assignment, and it's focused on student success and well-being, which, hey, I think that's actually not a bad thing to think about when you're stressed out during the end of the semester. So I hope it helps you, just kind of think about some of those things. But also, it does kind of connect to what we're doing, because with reflection writing, one of the things that you really I think helps you draw upon, your skills needed to reflect, is emotional awareness. Because when we reflect, we often do that in a similar place. And so at the end of the semester, the reason I like to ask students to reflect is because sometimes we become task masters, and we're just like, get this done, and we're just hammering out tasks. Everything's a task because we're busy and we have things to do. But to think about your learning and to kind of take note of who you are as a communicator, essentially, because that's what this course is really about. So that's what the purpose of the assignment is to have you think about your role as a communicator, and there is responsibility, of course, with being a communicator, and we have different roles, and we see ourselves a certain way as communicators. So I hope you've had time this semester to kind of do that. But so that's really the connection from this to the assignment that we're doing, is just that kind of awareness that you have when you reflect, the same type of awareness you have when you're thinking about emotional awareness, because emotional awareness is where you're thinking about your audience, right? You're thinking about others and what's going on with others, as well as thinking about yourself. You're thinking about your engagement with others. So that's very similar to, you know, communication and what you'll be reflecting on. So there is a connection, but this is the official assignment sheet with all the resources. Here's how I made the same type of assignment sheet you are familiar with, that you can pop open and look at. All the information, the prompt, everything is there, okay? I said 2 to 3 pages on this one to make it a little shorter, because I know you don't have as much time to, you know, to do a longer paper. So 2 pages, double spaced, MLA format, is what you're kind of aiming for. So I'll have y'all look at this on your own, but I do also have a presentation. Oops, let me go back into there. I do have a presentation. It's another drafting guide, just kind of walking you through a few things to think about that are key for doing a reflective essay. Okay, so that's a little walkthrough. And then another tool that, instead of doing it as a journal, I'm giving it to you as an optional tool, and you can use it any way you like. So I made it kind of how I usually make the graphic organizers, where there's some instructions and guiding questions on the left, and then there's some notes and things on the right. I made some notes too to guide you. And so the difference between this one is, this I kind of organized more as like the structure of an essay, like it could follow. You could actually use this to kind of as an outline in addition to a content generator. So the guiding questions on the left are questions that I think are good guiding questions to help you think about each area, as well as kind of the main point you're making or the main insight you're going to be developing in your draft. Okay, so this is a tool. Use as needed. I hope it helps. And there are other resources on reflection. It's a handout and a video. And consult these resources to help you. This is a little handout I've been using on reflective writing, and you know why do we do this in a college environment, in an academic environment. So you can look at that, and then I also have a resource. Well, there's a couple questions and a resource here, a video resource with knowledge check questions. So you can look at those, and hopefully that'll help you if you need a little bit of more context for reflection writing and what's involved in that. And the last thing will be the draft submission link. Now, this is a one draft paper, and I'm going to treat it as such and evaluate it in that way. You can see the evaluation criteria on the official assignment sheet. That kind of shows you what the categories of things I'll be looking for. So make sure you do all that formatting, MLA format. You won't have sources this time, but you will need to pay attention to that. And then the assignment link will open on Monday, May 6th, but you'll have access to everything else. So you can still start the paper anytime and start working on it. It's just the link that's gonna be locked until we get a little closer to our last week of class, and then of course, the final exam week. Okay, all right, everyone. Well, I hope this video gave you a little more context, but as always, if you have questions or you need a little bit more guidance, please reach out.